Welcome to the Star Podcast.
Whoa. Star Podcast.
Welcome to the Star Podcast, hosted by Nat. Each week, we share tips and stories from safety, trucking, and recruitment, and everything in between. Listen now. Welcome back to another episode. Today we're joined by Adam from Northern Academy, who's talking all about RV licenses. And we have had him on the show, and we've talked about all the different classes of licenses, what's needed, and the weight breakdown when it comes to RVs. You can listen to that episode 58. But there has been some updates. So Adam is here. He's going to break down the latest changes to the different weight classes and the restrictions and everything to do with RVs and motorhomes. So whether you're already on the road or thinking about getting behind the wheel, these updates could impact you. So Adam's going to walk us through what's new, what it means for drivers, and how to stay compliant moving forward. Listen now. So we do have an episode that's all about RVs and motorhomes and the different, restrictions or what they need to do, but there has been some updates. So what are those updates that people need to be aware of for RVs?
So as of July 1st of last year, 2025, there was an update when it came to licensing of motorhomes that weigh in excess of 11,000 kilograms. So G license is good for up to 11,000 kilograms, but as soon as you cross that threshold, you need a Class D license. So somebody who purchases a motorhome as a retirement plan, vacation, whatever, it's just a purchase they want to make, they may not be educated, thinking that different license classes, well, that's for passenger carrying, that's for the industrial sector, that's for freight carrying and work and whatnot. This is a pleasure mobile, right? So do those laws, apply to me? So as of July 1st last year, the ministry basically said, listen, if you have a motorhome that weighs more than 11,000 kilograms, we're not going to go and make you have to upgrade to a commercial class license to get your Class D or a C, even a B license would cover it, or your Class A would all cover that over 11,000 kilogram rule. So the ministry said, you're using this for personal use, for personal pleasure, whatnot. You're not operating in a commercial aspect. So let's work something out here. How about if the motorhome or the recreational vehicle weighs more than 11,000 kilograms, but not more than 14,000 kilograms. So if you're in that 3,000 kilogram range, 11,000 to 14,000, we're going to provide you with an online learning module where you can log in and you'll perform, I think it's about $25. It's like a 45-minute instructional online course just to learn about larger vehicle operating safely, different challenges you might face, the length of the vehicle and whatnot. So it's an online training module. Once you complete that, you go and you download the certificate and you go to a drive test center and have it updated on your license. So essentially, you have a G-class license with an RV endorsement on it. That's a simple way to put it. That's what owners of RVs can acquire if their RV weighs between 11,000 and 14,000 kilograms. Now, if the RV weighs more than 14,000 kilograms, then the ministry says that's kind of the cap, the threshold that we're comfortable with. Over 14,000 kilograms, we're going to have to get into a commercial class. We're going to have to go with the Class D license. Single unit vehicle, RV, over 14,000, we're going to go into Class D now. However, it's a Class D license with an RV restriction on it. So it's not a full Class D license where you can just jump into a dump truck or something. It is specific for RV operation, which will require the driver or the applicant to still hold a valid Class G license, would still have to complete the online training module. So that's the $25 45-minute course. They would still have to present that to the drive test center, but they would also have to complete an on-road practical exam with the RV, which is just like a basic road test. It's not going to include things like on the commercial side where they want to see how you inspect the vehicle and refer to Schedule 1 and whatnot. It's just operations test. And then they would be granted a Class D license with an RV restriction on it. Okay, that's over if it's over 14,000 kilograms. So let's do another recap. RV between 11,000 and 14,000 kilograms, we're talking motorhome kind of thing, not a trailer. So 11,000 to 14,000 kilograms, you're good with your Class G, but you will have to obtain the RV endorsement through the online training module. 45 minutes, about $25 to do that. And then you have to activate it or update it at the drive test center. Over 14,000 kilograms, you will have to do the online training module. In fact, you will actually have to have a medical report or a medical exam done. You'll have to do a knowledge test, and you will have to do a modified road test with your RV to obtain a Class D with RV restriction on the license. Any of those classes of licenses, even if it's for an RV, if the RV itself is going to tow, I don't know if an RV is going to tow another RV and it's over 4,600 kilograms, then a Class A would be required. But more so when you're talking about just the single vehicle unit, just the motorhome not towing anything, that's where they base those weight restrictions on up to 11,000. Then you have the 3,000 kilogram window of 11 to 14,000. That's just where you have to do the training module online, but over 14,000 is going to require it's going to have additional requirements. And having said all of this, those bigger size motorhomes you get into are most likely going to cross a certain threshold where they're going to manufacture them with air brakes installed as well. So you would have to also seek a Z endorsement in order to operate a motorhome that's equipped with air brakes as well.
Okay.
If you already possess a Class D, a Class A, a Class B or C license, then you don't have to do anything. Then you're already covered to operate the motorhome. Yeah.
Oh, okay, and you don't have to worry about that module, about the RV.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, you wouldn't have to do any of that stuff. In fact, yeah. I'm just pulling it up here on the ministry's website. It just says if you already possess a full Class A, B, C, or D license, you are already permitted to drive any RV regardless of weight. And that's right from the website. So the restriction or the endorsement for the RV licensing only really comes into play when you are trying to upgrade your license to specifically operate that RV. So if you already have a commercial class license, a DZ or an AZ, B or CZ from previous job, whatever avenues in life, then you're already covered to operate that vehicle as long as everything's valid.
Excellent. That's good. Perfect. Because there are, I think, a lot of questions about motorhomes and if people are covered. So it's good just to refresh people and let people know.
I had a student in here one time who was here to get a Z endorsement for a motorhome that he bought that he didn't even realize he needed a Z endorsement for it, and the salesman that sold him the motorhome didn't tell him that he needs a Z endorsement to operate this. And
so make sure you ask questions if you're going to buy a new motorhome. Just ask, what kind of license do I need? Yeah, so you know for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you for giving me so much of your time. Have a good rest of your day.
You're very welcome.
Wow. Star Podcast.